There are three pillars to the healthiest you, and today we're going to talk about one of those three, which is sleep. The other two are fitness and food. But sleep is that silent killer that people really need to watch. And most of us, if we're being real, have problems with our sleep at some point, at one point or another. And now there are people posting morning routines and things like that, making us feel like we're not sleeping properly or that there's a better way to sleep. But honestly, it's about your body. You have to be able to listen to your body and know when you are in rhythm or out of rhythm. On this channel, you will find videos on natural healing. Today, we're focusing on sleep, like I mentioned. So, here are 5 sleep supporting secrets that are going to basically get you back on track if you're fallen off or fell off, and they're going to enhance your sleep, even if you are someone who already has a pretty good sleep schedule. Number one is to get into the sun as early as possible. Get into the sun. When you wake up, maybe before you do anything else, I don't want to mess up your morning routine or whatever you have already going on, but as soon as you can, get out into the sun because this signals to your body inside your internal clocks that, oh, it's daytime. When our bodies receive the sun, it gets us into that active energy mode, and our internal clocks, which are part of our circadian rhythm, which is basically the cycle that your body goes through from morning to night, right? Your 24-hour cycle. Most living organisms have this cycle, and basically it's just how we are in tune with nature. It's how we evolved. Also, if you are a textual learner, I have a blog post for this video in which you can skip and see all the 5 sleep supporting secrets. I'll have that in the description below for you. And so back to getting into the sun as soon as possible. It's going to help your internal clocks know what time of day it is. And basically, you have many of these little internal clocks inside of your body that function based on your circadian rhythm. And when we're thrown out of that rhythm, our body doesn't know if it's morning or if it's night. And with all the blue light that we are getting now, that's why a lot of people have sleep issues in the first place, because we're getting all this light and our body doesn't know that it's time for sleep. So, the first secret is to get into the sunlight as soon as you wake up to signal to your body that it's time to be awake. If you're someone who wakes up tired, this is going to help your body get awake, and it's also going to give you some good vitamin D. The second sleep supporting secret is to get your work done as early as you can, or basically get your work done during the day. It doesn't necessarily have to be as early as you can, but you want to get it done during the morning or early afternoon, because that's also signaling to your body that it is time for work, which means I should be active, I should be awake. In getting your work done, it's important to note that you want to have a to-do list that is not 27,000 things, because we are in the era of hyper productivity. Every video you see, if you are a self-development girly, you are seeing videos, you are watching content, and I personally love this content too, but it can really program you and make you feel like you're not doing enough. It'll make you feel like you're burnt out, you need to do more things. And especially if you are an entrepreneur, in which we are basically creating our work and we are using our time for our business in the way that we desire, it's important to actually stick to the things that make the most sense for you in your business, and not to just start adding things into your day simply for the sake of being productive. This can stress you out, and it can also make you stay up longer. Why? Because you'll be doing more work, which means you'll have less free time, which means you're going to want to take back that time that you should have been spending in your free time before bed. So now you're watching extra Netflix because you did so much work today and you just want to chill. And so 30 minutes of Netflix isn't enough because I've been working for the past 7 hours. And then you go to sleep later and then your sleep is messed up. Stop doing that to yourself. Stick to the top things that are going to get you done. Get your work done, like get you feeling productive, but not overdoing it. Shrink your to-do list. Okay. And one way to do this is by focusing on the top three things that you need to get done. And we'll get into your daily schedule later. That is actually the last sleep supporting secret that we'll get to. But having top three goals for the day ready beforehand is going to really help you with getting your work done early and shrinking your to-do list. Another way you can do this is by having a to-do list, even if you have, say, like 20 things to do this week, right? However many things you have to do in a week, you have your list, but each day you don't try to do all those things. You set a timer for however many hours you want to work, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, a day. And so, say you do 2 hours. So, you're setting a timer for 2 hours. And once that timer is done, you're done working. Go somewhere to be productive. If you watch TV and do work in the same place, it can mess with your mind and if it can make you feel less productive because it's a place where you do everything. So getting out into a place where it is an environment that supports your brain in working, less distractions and things like that, it's best to do that. I love going to a cafe and sitting down or going to the business center in my apartment complex, sitting down and doing work when I feel like I really need to focus and my desk isn't gonna cut it because sometimes I eat at my desk, sometimes I watch Netflix or YouTube at my desk, and it's not going to be the most productive place because there are distractions. But putting myself in that different environment really helps. Another factor to getting your work done during the day is actually exercising. We're going to call this your workout. So this is some type of work that you need to get done during the day. It is a workout, your exercise regimen. Have a regimen, do a little something or a lot of something, whatever your body can take, and do that during the day. This will help tire you out a little bit so that at night you are actually more ready for bed. Okay? When you get to the end of the day, you want that melatonin to be hitting so you can get inside the bed and fall asleep quickly. The worst thing is getting into the bed and you can't fall asleep. Or it's your bedtime, say 9 p.m. is your bedtime, and you just don't feel tired. For me, I know if I don't feel tired at night, it is because I did not do enough during the day. So working out always helps me because my body is like, oh, we did something today. Definitely need to sleep and recover. Getting my work done during the day gives me enough free time later so that I feel ready for bed. Like, okay, I've done my work, I've done my play. Now I can sleep and rest peacefully. Let's move on to sleep secret number three, sleep supporting secret. It is to skip that midday nap and go step into the sun instead. The sun is going to be your bestie when you're trying to stay awake or signaling to your body that it is time to be awake. Why? Like I mentioned, we evolved this way. We were outside. We spend a lot of time inside now, so our bodies are kind of like, is it day? Is it night? We need that sun to tell us, to tell our bodies, to communicate with us that it is time to stay up. So if you are feeling midday, right, especially if you are someone who goes to the gym early, by the afternoon when your body starts feeling tired and stuff, you start feeling worn out, you might want to step outside instead of taking a nap because the sun will signal to your body, give you more energy that it's time to be active. It's time to be awake right now. We don't need to be taking a nap because naps use up some of that melatonin that you have, that juicy melatonin that puts you to sleep. And when you use that up, you're going to have less melatonin in the night, which means you're going to feel less tired, which means you might want to take some melatonin or something like that. But you don't need to do that. If you need to sleep or relax, click the link in the description for some tea that will help you relax, help you feel a little bit sedated, and get you right to sleep. Okay? It is called Moon Mood Tea. Also, getting into the sun really is important for our vitamin D, which gives us energy. Vitamin D helps us to feel more active and feel more alive. Okay, so skip that nap. But if you do need to take a nap, do not take a long nap and do not take a nap in the late afternoon. If it's late afternoon, just push through and get an early night's sleep. That's going to be better than taking that nap, waking up feeling super alive and energized when actually in a couple hours you need to be going to bed. Push through, or if you must, take it during the day or keep it really short. I'm someone who, if I lay down to take a nap, it's gonna be 1 to 2 hours. So that's gonna throw me off. On the weekends, it's fine, right? On your menstrual cycle, it's fine. You need extra sleep. Maybe not on the weekends. I mean, I feel like the weekends is a good time to actually get more rest if you need it. But, obviously there are exceptions to the rule, but most of the time, to keep your circadian rhythm healthy, you want to avoid naps. All right. So I have a little phrase that you can say in the blog if you need a reminder. So check out that phrase. It's going to be in sleep secret number 3. Let's move on to sleep secret number 4, which is your nighttime routine. I love watching nighttime routine videos. There are so many things that you can include inside of your nighttime routine, but the most important factor is that it is yours, that it is specific to your needs. Okay, so you can have a bunch of things that you could be doing, but it doesn't make sense if it's not for you. Just because you watch the routine where someone is reading or journaling or meditating doesn't mean you have to include that. Maybe you do those things during the day. So at night, you can keep it short and sweet, right? Little teeth brush, shower, skincare, uh, 432 hertz, deep sleep music, some tea, and bed. Okay, whatever it is for you, go ahead and do that. And the way that you want to create a solid nighttime routine is, well, before we get into that, let me tell you why you need a solid nighttime routine. It is because it's going to prepare your brain to know that it is time for bed. There are certain activities that trigger things in your mind to know, it triggers your mind to know, okay, it's time for this. So your nighttime routine is going to trigger your brain to say, okay, it's time for sleep. You might use the bathroom after doing certain things in your routine, right? And it's because your body has now connected this activity to using the bathroom, right? Some people go to the bathroom number 2 at the same time every day. And it's because this specific activity or time of day connects to your brain and says, oh, it's time to use the bathroom. Same thing with your nighttime routine. It's going to calm your mind, ease your mind, and honestly, your melatonin should really be kicking in if you've been getting enough sunlight, getting your work done, getting that exercise, and keeping your to-do list shorter, less stress. So you should be ready for your nighttime routine. To make your nighttime routine easy, you want to basically get out a piece of paper and a pen. If you don't have a nighttime routine, let's go through the steps. So you want to figure out what time you want to wake up, right? What's the ideal time I want to wake up? Because this is going to help you know what time you need to sleep. I will include a sleep calculator in the description so you can see how many sleep cycles and how many hours of sleep you will get if you wake up at certain times based on the time that you want to wake up, you know. So that's in the description. So once you figure that out, go ahead and write down the things that you want to have in your nighttime routine. For me, it's, all the hygiene, some tea, viewing my vision board, and for more on this, some fun ways to enhance your nighttime routine and to work with your subconscious mind in becoming more confident, able to be seen, and attracting your desires. I will include that link in the description also. So for me, like I said, it's the tea, the hygiene. Sometimes I do some journaling and gratitude, things like that. But really, I like to keep it short. Another thing I love to do before sleep is stretch because it just loosens my muscles, really relaxes my body, and gets me in a state of just peace and serenity. So write down the things that you want in your nighttime routine. Then figure out how long this routine is going to take you. Once you know how long it's going to take, you know, okay, if I want to wake up at 6 a.m., the ideal time for me to go to sleep, to be actually sleeping with my eyes closed in dreamland, is 10:30 for me to get enough sleep cycles and, enough rest. That means you don't need to be in the bed at 10:30. You need to be in the bed at like 10:15 the latest so that your body can fall asleep. If you need to be in the bed by 10 and your routine takes you an hour and a half, you need to start your routine by 8:30. Start your nighttime routine by 8:30. So that hour and a half later, you slip into bed, fall asleep in within 30 minutes, and then you wake up at the time that you desire to wake up, right? This means, say if your routine has to start at 8:30, you need to be done eating earlier than that, right? You need to have had dinner by 7, 7:30. You got to think about these things. When we don't think about the steps, that's how we end up in a place where we don't want to be. So having a solid nighttime routine is going to bring your sleep schedule into full force, into strength, into vitality, and it's going to get you back on track. All right, so let's go to the final secret, which we touched on a little bit, and it's having a daily schedule. Having a daily schedule is super important because it's going to keep your internal clocks going and knowing what time it is. So, in your daily schedule, you're going to have your work, but you really want to be like eating at the same times of day, right? So, and waking up at the same time and having your ideal times for sleep and waking. So, you want to be maybe eating my first meal at noon, eating dinner at 7. Doing this consistently signals to your body, your internal clocks, that okay, it's daytime or it's nighttime. Also, having a daily schedule, knowing what you're going to do and planning ahead before is going to ease your mind, reduce stress. And stress is a causing factor of sleep issues. So you want to be reducing stress as much as possible. So earlier we mentioned having a short to-do list and writing 3 goals. This can be included in your daily schedule. So the day before or maybe on the weekend, you plan your entire week. Or if you do it the day before, you plan your day the next day. So you know, okay, the next day I got these 3 things that I want to do. And then you know, okay, tomorrow I can sleep good because tomorrow I know I'm doing these 3 things. I got my schedule all laid out. I know I'm eating lunch at noon and I know I'm eating dinner at 7. I know I go to the gym every day at 8 a.m. Whatever it is for you, having a daily schedule is super important. It's just so important. All right. So I hope you enjoyed these 5 sleep supporting secrets. And we all need our beauty sleep. Stop playing around like your sleep is not, you know, affecting you. It is. Like I said, it's one of the top 3 is food, fitness, and sleep. If you're not eating right, your health is going to be off. If you are not working out, your health is going to be off. And if you're not sleeping right, your health is going to be off. Sleep is that silent one. It's that silent one. It's something that I struggled with for a long time. There were times when I was literally sleep, like I would be up at 4 or 5 in the morning and then sleeping until 1 and then taking a nap at 5, waking up at 8 p.m. and then having to try to go to bed at like 3 a.m. It was just ridiculous. but I've changed that. And these 5 sleep supporting secrets helped me out a lot along the way, especially that sun. When I was really healing my sleep patterns, I craved the sun. I would roll out of bed. I'm talking about I didn't brush my teeth, nothing. I just threw on my Birkenstocks. If it was chilly, threw on a sweater, and I walked because I lived by a park. So I would just walk super early and just get that sunlight, and it would really set me up for the day. And it felt amazing. All right. So don't play around like you don't need your beauty sleep. You definitely need your beauty sleep because you need to stay golden. Bye.